I'd like to start with this slide because it's very telling. First, it communicates how important customers are to Veritas. We pride ourselves on listening to and working with our customers on their most daunting IT challenges. And we build solutions to address those challenges at scale and across different types of infrastructures, be they physical, virtual, or cloud. Second, it communicates that this approach continues to work and it meets the needs of the largest organizations on the planet. In fact, 98 of the Fortune 100 customers choose Veritas. So to start things off today, I'm going to highlight a few of the prominent and consistent challenges that we talk to our customers about every day. Then, I'll introduce a new way of look at solving these challenges, one that many of you already have in your data center today. So let's get started. One of the key challenges we talk to our customers about is data growth. In fact, in the next 5 years, according to IDC, the world will have 175 zettabytes of information. Now, to put that in perspective, if you were to cram 175 zettabytes into a number of smartphones, you'd have 2.6 trillion smartphones. Now, to put that in perspective, if I were to stack 2.6 trillion smartphones on this stage, I'd have a stack that goes from here to the moon, but not just one stack. I would have 50 stacks of smartphones that went from here to the moon. So while it's all well and good to talk about all that data, the real question is what do you do about it? So do you really need to keep it all is the challenge. How can you distinguish between the data you need either for compliance or for driving business insights and what might be able to be deleted over time? Veritas can help answer each of these questions. So another area we consistently have conversations with our customers about has to do with threats to their data. And the most predominant conversation we have today is around ransomware. The ransomware protection market is projected to grow to be a $33 billion market by the year 2025. Now, many companies and governments and schools, and particularly hospitals, are being targeted by hackers and extorted for ransom with ransomware. In fact, I just read just yesterday how the WannaCry virus impacted the UK health system so significantly that 33,000 hospitals were impacted, and it caused the cancellation of over 16,000 appointments, many of which were operations. So ransomware is having a real impact on people's lives. So some debate whether paying ransoms when they happen is a good idea or not. Well, it turns out that of those who did pay a ransom, only about 50% of those customers are actually able to get their data back using the tools that the hackers provided to them. Those are not very good odds. Companies need a comprehensive strategy to deal with these kinds of threats. And almost always that strategy will include some type of offline component. Regardless, Veritas can help in these areas with good data management hygiene practices. So cloud is another area where we spend considerable amount of time with our customers on. And it's really not because it's one thing. Cloud turns out to be many different things. And it really comes down to, the conversation typically comes down to how to get cloud right. Recent research we conducted indicates that 70% of those who we surveyed believed that it was the cloud provider's responsibility to back up their data. Now, these respondents included some very smart individuals, including cloud architects and cloud administrators. The reality is that responsibility is yours. But that's just the beginning. There's other things to consider, like how do you migrate your mission-critical applications to the cloud while maintaining the performance and availability objectives you have, and do so without breaking the bank? How do you leverage cloud to do disaster recovery in the environment and allowing you to eliminate your own local DR colo sites And how do you deal with governance of your cloud data? What about containers? Do you want or need to protect containers in the cloud? And how you manage all these cloud resources alongside your data center operations is another question to consider. So Veritas can help you answer all of these questions. And then finally, the growing number of and the complexity of the number of data regulations growing across the planet is another hot topic that we talk to our customers today. And GDPR is not the only regulation that is of concern. Proving compliance to all of these regulations with data spread so liberally across data centers, clouds, and beyond country borders is no small task. So this is made even worse by the fact that 52% of your enterprise data remains dark. How do you find and eliminate PII data if you don't know where it exists in your data center? Dark data is the enemy of compliance confidence. Veritas can help shed light here and eliminate your dark data. So what makes solving these challenges so difficult is the complexity. Enterprise IT is not one type of environment, it's all of them, right? It's not just one cloud, it's infrastructure as a service, software as a service, and platforms as a service. It's not just your traditional applications running in your environment, it's your traditional applications running alongside your modern applications. And data exists across all of these locations. The complexity of the infrastructure is what makes it particularly difficult for enterprise IT organizations to address and empower the business, as so was eloquently stated by our friend Phil Goodwin over at IDC. So how do you address this complexity? Well, it starts with applying a concept that you're already familiar with, abstraction. But I'm not talking about the type of abstraction you might be thinking of, whether it be server virtualization or storage virtualization with software-defined storage. No, this is a little different. What's needed to realize this vision is an abstraction from complexity. Now, to illustrate this, I wanted to use the smartphone, which is something we all have in our pockets right now, as an example of a platform that's done a terrific job, in my opinion, of abstracting complexity. On the surface, it's a very simple device. In fact, it doesn't even have any buttons. You press a button on the screen, and it delivers an outcome, whether that outcome is to take a picture, whether it's to click a rideshare app, or, who knew, you could use it to make a phone call. But when you think about the complexity, delivering that simplicity, there's a lot of complexity there. The smartphone actually consists of highly integrated componentry of compute, memory, storage, a network, antennas, power, and then it's all connected with applications and an operating system. There's many parallels here when you think about the abstraction complexity in the data center. The modern data center is made up of different servers, physical and virtual, in clouds, public, private, and data from all of these components flows between each other. How it all works, though, needs to be abstracted away so that what we're left with is the outcomes that we're after. So, wouldn't it be fair to say that when it comes right down to it, what we really want is to not have to deal with all of this complexity? Wouldn't it be better if that we could just ensure that our applications were always available with zero downtime, regardless of whether they're on traditional architecture, virtualized architecture, or in the cloud somewhere? Wouldn't it be better that regardless of where your data lived, you had the confidence to know that it was always protected? That you could always recover it for whatever reason and whenever you needed it, and it was always stored and managed in the most cost-effective way? And wouldn't it be awesome if you were able to manage all of this with insights into the data, not only for your compliance needs, but also to drive critical business insights to allow you to take advantage and drive differentiation in your business. Well, that is our vision. And the realization of that vision begins today. So we already offer, as Chris has already commented on, technologies in each of these critical areas that allow you to realize this vision. Starting with availability, our availability technology delivers 24/7 business across your environment. We have a history of delivering immense value in this space. In fact, 10 of the top 10 financial services, healthcare, and telecommunication companies chose Veritas in this space. In data protection, this is the area we are best known for by far. Our enterprise data protection offerings enable granular and at-scale recovery across any environment or any workload. And we've garnered the #1 market share position in this space. And with our insights portfolio, we help organizations with both cost and compliance. We've driven many innovations in this area, including our classification engine, our dark data assessments, and our metadata rendering. And leveraging these technologies into our enterprise archiving capability, which is also currently the #1 market share leader here as well. The opportunity for us and for you is when we bring all this together. And that's where our vision becomes a reality with the Veritas Enterprise Data Services Platform. Where we deliver protection, availability, and insights capable of giving IT organizations the outcomes they're after and hiding the complexity that holds them back. And so, as I mentioned in the beginning, many of you in the audience already have the foundation on which to build this capability. And it starts with the Net Backup platform, which today supports over 500 workloads. It can support over 150 storage targets and more than 60 clouds. And it can be deployed in almost any deployment model. The platform is the key tenets of availability, protection, and insights. So as we spend time together this afternoon in subsequent sessions, we'll learn more and discuss what innovations that we're bringing in each of these key areas. So overall, so as I mentioned, complexity is the enemy of IT ability to meet business expectation. And it's only getting worse. It's not going to go away. As new technologies come to market, you will embrace them in your data center. And embracing those new technologies will continue to add that complexity. Starting over is not a real option either. Many IT organizations continue to have mainframes alongside physical client server and virtualization, and bringing in new technologies such as hyperconvergence, open source, containers, and the like. So the path forward is to standardize on a platform that can deliver the outcomes you need, regardless of how complex the underlying infrastructure happens to be, and can deliver availability for any application, protect all of your data regardless of where it resides, and at the same time giving you the insights you need to manage all of your compliance needs, and also address critical business insights so you can drive differentiation in your business as well. We enable these services across any environment in the data center or the cloud. So I look forward to talking with you more and learning more this afternoon across each of these areas. Thank you very much for your time.